Hello YouTube, it's Darkon633, and today I'm bringing you a review of the Transformers Generations Leader Class Age of Extinction Grimlock. Now, the Grimlock mold is kind of an iffy mold altogether between the fandom. Sometimes people like the Voyager, sometimes people like the Leader, and some people think both versions just don't have enough to make it accurate to the movie. Well, I personally think it's good for what it is, even though it does have its downsides, and it does have a lot of good stuff to it as well. So, well, just before the movie, I decided to go ahead and do Grimlock as well. So, let's go ahead and take him aside. Here we have Grimlock's box, which has a pretty nice profile picture of his dinosaur mode. And on the back, shows both of his Robo mode and his T-Rex mode. Now, it says in the back here, he has battled countless enemies across the universe, never concerning himself with trophies, only victories. He has proven himself difficult to capture and nearly impossible to defeat. When an enemy does manage to get the best of him, it's never for long. Uncaged and Unleashed, Grimlock is concerned with only one thing: vengeance about those who would try to control him. And it shows that it also Leader Class Optimus is available, shows Autobot logos on all sides, and so on. So, taking that aside, we now have a look at Grimlock. Now, the Grimlock mold has, as mentioned before, it's got a lot of problems, but at the same time, it's got a lot of good sides, and personally, I think there's a lot more pros than there are cons with this toy. One major con you can probably already see is that the chrome, it's already starting to wear on mine, since I actually had it for like a couple of weeks already. So, yeah, I wish this wasn't all chrome. It would have been better if they just kept it all just painted plastic and no chrome whatsoever. It looks kind of okay in beast mode, but at the same time, there's just so many problems with the chrome that it really should have been better without it. To show a quick look at his head. See? It's got a pretty nice design head, except the problem with it is that since it's a very darkish color, it's hard to bring out most of the details that are molded on that itself. Anyways, obviously here I have his dragon. Let's see what it said on the back of the box. It's called the Dragon Tooth Mace. It's a pretty odd weapon. The Voyager had this giant club thing, but for him, this is actually a part of his tail, which you'll see for transformation, and he's got a shield, so pretty nice. In terms of articulation, his arms are on a ratchet, so we can go up and down. And also kind of go in and out, but it's kind of hard to move it, and because of the way that the joint is, it gets kind of odd, so I don't use that joint too much. He's also got elbows that can also on ratchets. You can also turn it around if you so wish to. And also, he's got wrist articulation, which is really nice. He's got also ratchet in his elbow, so he's got a lot of ratchety joints there. His head can also turn 360. No waist articulation, but it's not really important there. His legs also, get it out of the way, on ratchets, forward, left, and right. Also forward and back. So yeah, as mentioned before, he does have a lot of ratchet joints. He's got a swivel on his upper part of his leg. He's got, and the lights bumping into it, ratchets on the knees. And his legs can pivot up and down, and he's kind of got like front end toe articulation. So, but that's only really for the design aesthetics, not anything else. So he's pretty well articulated, actually. Let's take off the mace and the shield. So now we can go on to the transformation. Now, to transform this guy, what you're going to do is, so you just pull down the feet, so then now you can just form his feet, like so. So I got that. Now, continue on, what you're going to do next is, oh yeah, I forgot to mention his shoulders are articulated too slightly, if you kind of really consider that articulation. You need to unpeg this point on his shoulder on both sides. This is a rubbery plastic, so no need for breakage or anything when you move that. Pull it down, and obviously this unlocks the back panel here. Now what you're going to do is unlock the arms and shoulders. Now here comes the problem. Because there's chrome on the side of his shoulders, it causes a lot of chrome wear too, just by transformation, so that's kind of an unfortunate thing they designed it like that. You pull this entire front panel up, like that. Now what you do next is you're going to unpeg both of the legs from the sides here. So first you're going to unpeg the feet, so it looks like that. So unlocks the entire leg transformation. Turn around, open up both of the ends, like this. So now you got a flat piece roughly on both sides. Just kind of turn this entire piece around on both sides. Then you just take these little pegs here on the side of his legs, and you peg it into the holes that are on the side here, if I can get it in count. Sides right there. And just peg it down. Make sure that you position the feet in such a way. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that you also need to push down the feet as well on both sides. So like that. Now what you're going to do is peg them together like that. Now you're going to take these little spike pieces and just push them in on both sides. So it looks like that. So you're kind of getting there for the what's it called, this dinosaur mode. Just make sure that you position the legs away so they don't get in the way. And to finish off at least the legs here, what you're going to do is, normally it's pegged like right here, but there's actually another set of holes that are at the bottom here. So now you peg them down like that. Whoops, never mind. It is the other one, so it pegs them down like this. So now you got both sides complete like that. Turn the feet around so now they're face forward. Now you almost got the full dinosaur mode. What you're going to do next is push down the headpiece here. And then push down these little panel pieces that are on the back. Turn the mouth pieces so they face down like that. Then what you have to do is actually, oh that's right, this actually is entirely upside down, so actually you need to turn them around. So now it looks like something like that. So now you're almost done. Now what you're going to do is make sure that these little pegs on the side of his neck here peg into the legs, holes on the sides of the legs there. So make sure that you line them properly. If done properly, you should peg them together. So let's try that. Okay. So now both sides you peg them. So now you got the entire dinosaur model almost complete. Now for the head, what you're going to do is align them properly so that they face down, and it's easier to open it up so you can attach the jaw together. And you just peg everything together up here. Everything's just pegs together. Snap the pegs into place. So now you'll have the full dinosaur head shown there. And then you just fold down the panels there, so on. Now to finish up the top part here, all you need to do is pull these panels okay, come on. Okay. Like that. So now you almost got the top part of the neck. To finish out the bottom, another set of pegs that are on the side here on both sides. Right there. Just kind of peg into the holes that are there. So just peg them together. Once everything is aligned, got yourself the entire chest area. Just pull out the hands. And finish up the transformation up here. What you're going to do is make sure that these are aligned. And peg these together. So now it forms this upper body there. Turn the feet around so that they face outward. And then go down here and just slide them into the little space in between the body there. So let's do that quickly. So now you got his robot mode pretty much almost complete. Next you just kind of align this neck, so now it folds into the body there. And then, to finish out the transformation, what you're going to do is take the tail, close it up, collapse it, and then just, it pegs into little pegs on the side there. So now you got the back end of the tail. To finish off the front end of the tail, you just fold up this panel here and then push in the spike. Then at the bottom here, there's actually these little holes, both sides. Take these little pegs here that's on the tail, just line them, and then it just pegs in like that. And then these pieces here will kind of just fit up here where these little chrome little pegs are on the side, and the little hole there will, this peg here will hold peg into there. And then you got Grimlock. Let's see if I get this done. Okay. So everything's aligned and pegged into place. Here you got Grimlock in his Dino mode. Now, as you can see, one of the major problems this toy has is that its legs can only barely support him in some poses. So, lucky for me, he's actually standing pretty well here. Looks pretty nice overall, except another major complaint I've seen on this toy from people is that not only is his legs sometimes have a hard time balancing him, the fact that this neck piece here is just way too long, especially when you look up here, gives him this really chubby look. So that is kind of distracting. But at the same time, I do kind of like his design overall, especially since he's a lot bigger than the Voyager. I personally think this is a little better mold. And sometimes, if you don't peg it properly, the tail pops off. So just plug that back into the back here. So now, okay, there. So yeah, it's a pretty okay figure. I actually like the chrome design that they have for the head, at least. Especially with the blue eyes. So we can get the light and show them out better. The blue eyes up here. But I could see why there's a lot of complaints for this figure. In this mode, it's pretty much the only articulation you got is the hands. Both sides. And then I guess you can move the legs around a bit if you so wish to. But once again, as mentioned, you can only go in so many poses without the front end being extremely heavy, toppling him over and forward. So that is kind of disappointing there, but overall still a pretty neat figure. To transform him back, all you need to do is pull down the hands. And what I actually see here is that it's actually much easier to transform back into robot than it is beast mode, or T-Rex mode should I say. Just kind of unpeg this compartment here. Just unlocks everything. There. Sometimes the feet get in the way, so it causes it's not open fully there. Now what you're going to do is unlock this entire piece here, so now what's it called? This entire leg is freed from the body here. Make sure that the head is pushed up here. Pull down these little back panels here on both sides. Just kind of make that face forward. Unpeg the arms. Make sure that you peg them in from up here instead now. And then it just kind of unfold the hands. So now you got his entire upper body almost complete. Just push down this compartment here. So now it reveals the head. Now for here, what you got to do next is turn them around. This little peg here actually fits into this little space here articulation point is, and make sure that both sides peg into... Sorry for getting in the camera. The parts there. So just make sure that you bend them so that they fold into the compartment there, like that. Then turn the feet. Just peg them down back onto the side of the leg once more. And then you turn the feet around so that they face forward. And then you pull up the spike. You do the same for the other side. Actually, yeah, you technically should actually pull out the spikes too, so it kind of covers up the back, so it looks something like that on the back. The legs, and you just peg on the feet like this. And then turn the feet around, and then you have that done. So let's just quickly pull out the spikes here as well. And then you just peg them in, so then there you go. Now to finish up its transformation, all you gotta do is pull up its entire neck piece here, separate the head, so now everything is separated up there. Turn this entire piece around, and then you just kind of fold these mouth pieces around, and they don't really peg it to anything, they just kind of sit there. So now it just kind of sits over like that. Then just pull out these panels so you face up like something like that there. To finish up the transformation, all you gotta do is pull up the rubbery bits and just peg them back down onto the shoulder panels here. So now they lock into place. And once you get that done, you got Grimlock back in his robot mode. Now, as mentioned before, they have a lot of shortcomings on this figure, but at the same time, it does have a lot of positive things. To transform back the weapon, all you need to do is just easily push actually on the back here, so that you get the spike freed. Push it down, close up the piece here, and then open up this mace, just slide it up, and then you just peg them together like that. And then you just peg it back to its hand. Now, I personally really enjoy this figure for what it is. I don't actually have the Voyager, nor do I really plan to get it really, just because I don't feel like having two of the same character in the movie line. That's why I chose to get the leader class as well, and the fact that I actually forgot to mention that I got this figure during that big Amazon sale, I guess you can call it, when it was only going for like around 28 bucks. At first, it was kind of far-fetched that the leaders are going for so low, but then when they actually fulfilled my order and so on, I was actually surprised to actually get it for the really amazing deal, so I'm happy that I got it, though once again, I wish the chrome wasn't really there. But overall, it's a really decent figure. It's a pretty nice figure, and I think he's definitely worth it. Maybe not so much of the $44.99 price that he really goes to retail, but if you get him on sale as well, it's pretty worth it. Anyways, please kindly subscribe, check out Toka News. Here are Taka, Rajio, and the other channels down below, and I'll see you YouTube. Bye.